Yeah, add more caffeine. That'll help.
Yeah,
That'll
that's
really
gonna
help.
really help bring the heart rate down.
I mean, I'm no expert,
But
but I'm gonna say,
yeah. You ready to roll?
Ready?
This that worst I rule, Johnny Wayne Studios. This that worst I rule, Tune it in.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ryan Waters here with Shred KC, and I'm here with my man Aaron Simpson. We're missing Jody Rue again. If anybody sees him, if anybody spots a Jody Rue, let us know and bring him home safely, please.
Time to put him on the back of a milk carton.
Yeah, put it. Yeah,
is that a Jody alert?
yeah, Jody alert. Yeah, my phone just went off with a Jody alert. Hey, thanks for listening, guys. We're coming at you this week with some more information, more information about the gym. Today's topic is going to be. Basically, we're going to talk about what to do when you go in the gym. I don't know how many of you guys just walk in the gym and don't have a plan. You just look at whatever machine looks enticing and you do 15 reps, and you go to the next machine and look at the diagram on the machine, you do 15 reps, and then you leave. Or you get on the treadmill because that's what everybody else is doing. So we're going to tell you kind of exactly what to do when you go to the gym, warm up, pre-workout nutrition, post-workout nutrition. And most of this stuff we're going to be talking about is really based on a weight loss client. There's different information we can give for somebody that's bulking, a power lifter, bodybuilder, but this is going to be for weight loss. To start. Why am I running out of breath so easy? I got some allergies, y'all, so bear with me. Okay, so like I said, this topic's going to be over weight loss. We can talk a little bit about general health, just like if you want to go to the gym and you're not trying to lose any weight, you're just trying to maintain and be healthy. That's going to be completely different than what we're going to talk about today. So say you're somebody that works out in the afternoon, you're going to go to the gym after work at 5. Okay, so what do you do? What's your plan? What's your plan of attack? What are you going to do? Are you just going to go to the gym and talk to your buddies, BS for an hour and a half and then leave? Really what you need to do is think about what your pre-workout nutrition is going to be. And like we talked about in the carb episode, you really want to adjust your pre-workout nutrition based on what body part you're going to do. So as we spoke about before, back day, leg day, the big muscle groups, you want to have more carbs because you're going to be using more carbs when you work out. So on those days, if you're going to get some carbs in a pre-workout meal, we suggest you try to get some complex carbs in about at least 60 minutes before you work out, 90 if you can. So if you're going to go to the gym at 5 o'clock when you get off of work, around 3:30, you need to plan out your snack to have quite a bit of complex carbs in it. Okay, so your body has time to digest it so you can use it for that 5 o'clock workout. And that your food's settled before you go. If you're in a bunch and you miss your snack, you can either work out fasted. It depends on what type of workout you're doing. You can either work out fasted or you can do some fast carbs right before you go to the gym. So, you can eat some rice cakes and have a protein shake, or you can put some, powder carbs into your pre-workout shake if you want. Like I said, it really just depends on what body part you're doing. Supplements, okay? Supplements before you work out. I would definitely think about a pre-workout. Okay, there's stimulant pre-workouts and there are non-stimulant pre-workouts. So if you're sensitive to caffeine, you can do a non-stimulant one. But really, what most pre-workouts have, they have BCAAs in them to protect your muscle mass, help with recovery, help with endurance. Most of them have caffeine. Some have creatine, glutamine, different things that are going to help you perform better in the gym, recover faster, be able to do more sets, more reps, and go for longer and recover faster. So look into something like that. I suggest, for everybody, BCAAs. BCAAs before, like if you don't do a pre-workout, have BCAAs ready to drink during your workout, and that's branch chain amino acids. I know that all my clients do, and everybody around. That's probably your best selling supplement, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's just us educating people why they need them too. Like a branch chain amino acid is going to help your body and your muscles replenish and re-heal themselves. So when you get a hard workout and you're working out hard and you're tearing down that muscle, that BCAA is going to go in and help heal that muscle up. I drink BCAAs constantly throughout the day. I literally sitting next to me today, I've got my BCAAs. When I'm actually going into a workout, you can actually get some BCAAs that have caffeine in them as well. And I'll sip on those throughout my workout just to keep my energy levels up. I don't usually start off drinking them because I've done a pre-workout before my workout that's got some caffeine in it. But about halfway through my workout, when I start feeling my energy levels drop down, then I'll start sipping on the BCAAs with the caffeine in it, just to give myself and my body that energy that I need to make it through the rest of my workout.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge. It's a one of the best supplements I think you can have during your workouts, and you won't notice it really unless, like Aaron said, unless you have the ones with caffeine. You won't really feel it during your workout. You'll just feel it like after your workout.
Right, with recovery.
Yeah, with recovery, and you push the protein in your muscles. And what BCAAs also help do is it helps increase your protein synthesis. So that means the protein that you take in, your body's gonna use it the right way and push it into your muscles.
Yeah, most BCAAs are cheap too. You know, they're not very pricey. You know, you're looking at anywhere between $20 to $40, $40 even. That's a high, expensive for a thing of BCAAs. At least a 30 servings. I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And another, I tell people too, a lot of people have trouble getting water in. So you can add BCAAs unless you have one with caffeine and you don't want to be sipping on caffeine all day, which you could. But you want to put that in your water, and that can help, because people always ask me, like, can I do Crystal Light? Can I do all this stuff? Which is fine. But if you're going to be adding artificial sweeteners into your day all day long, I would rather you be doing BCAAs opposed to Crystal Light or something like that, Mio or something where you're going to get some benefit out of it. So you can add a scoop of BCAAs to a gallon jug, half a gallon jug, and sip on that throughout the day. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, and nowadays they come in about any flavor imaginable, even coffee flavor to latte flavors to any of the fruit type of flavors. A lot of them taste like some of the lemon lime flavors taste like lemon lime Gatorade or like the orange Gatorade. So the flavors of them are really good. Yep. Also, you want to look at one that's low in sugar too. The ones that taste super good probably have a lot of sugar in them. So look for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't want to do artificial sweeteners and you don't want to do that kind of thing, just drink water during your workout. I mean, it's fine, but you want to stay hydrated during your workout. You don't want to go work out and not have any water. You want to try to get at least 32 to 64 ounces in during a workout, depending on how long it is. You don't want to dehydrate yourself during your workout. Another good thing is caffeine. Talking about the pre-workout or the BCAAs with caffeine. Caffeine is just going to make your workout more intense, and it's going to speed up your metabolism, and you're going to burn more calories in your workout. So if you're not sensitive to stimulants, I would definitely look into adding some caffeine in some form before you work out, 30 to 15 minutes before, and then during if you need to, if you're really dragging.
Yeah, and if you don't know which type of supplement or which type of like BCA or pre-workout to take, ask the gym you go to, ask the place that you're buying it what they recommend. I have people ask me all the time, and the first thing I talk to them about is usually, are you sensitive to carb or to caffeine? Mm-hmm. Or there's also some products in there that make you feel like you're about to itch your skin off, and sometimes people don't like that. Some people do. So, ask questions before you go buy it, because you can spend some money that you're going to end up not wishing that you spent because you don't like what it does to you. So ask questions beforehand. But definitely the pre-workout for me, what I like about the pre-workout more than anything, more than even just the energy that it gives me, is the pump. Yep. A lot of them come with like a pump formula in it that fills your muscles up with more blood, puts blood into your muscle to where now you feel like that pump. And to me, that's what I get the high off of working out, is that pump. My wife's a big runner. She gets that high from running. I don't. Mine comes from actually getting a workout in, and you actually feel like, especially when you're doing arms, you almost feel like your skin's about ready to rip because you're so tight, like you've got such a big pump. That's what I enjoy about lifting.
Lift the pump.
Yep.
Then you go strut that pump around town too.
That's right. You wish that pump lasted all day long.
That's right.
And that's what some of the post-workout we'll get into later. Some of the post-workout supplements will actually help keep that pump longer throughout the day too.
Yep. So that we started talking about an afternoon workout. If you work out in the morning, still same thing. Drink some caffeine on the way to the gym at 5 o'clock, or some pre-workout in the way. The nutrition isn't going to be there unless you want to wake up at 3:30 and eat some oatmeal. So you would want some fast carbs and some protein. And you can work out fasted. If you're a weight loss client, just work out fasted in the morning. But if it affects your workout to where you're dragging ass, you're not be able to make it through the workout and give your best, give your all in the workout, then add some stuff to it. If not, just work out fasted. But if you're working out fasted, then it's really important for the BCA. So you're anabolic and not catabolic. Okay, because if you're working out in a fasted state, you're at risk of burning up muscle, and BCAAs will help avoid that.
We're going to get into more of like what you should do as far as when and what type of workout here in a little bit. But with what Ryan just said there as far as nutrition before, like there's been times where I will go in fasted, do my cardio first, and do 30, 45 minutes, whatever it might be of cardio, and then I'll have some like protein pancakes that I've pre-made before, and I'll bring those in the gym with me. When I'm done with my cardio, then I'll eat a protein pancake or two before I start actually lifting weights. And the reason why I've done that in the past is just because after I do that cardio fasted, sometimes my energy levels, sometimes I'll start feeling a little bit weak. So I'll eat those. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, is that something you recommend for people? I mean, I could be doing it wrong too. So.
Well, yeah, that was one of my topics I was going to get to, but we can go
sorry
ahead.
about that.
That's all right. We can jump to it. Really, what you guys want to do, and Aaron's doing it right. Like if you're weight loss, he's going in and he's doing his cardio first fasted, but then he's adding some nutrients, some carbs to ramp him up, and probably getting some rest. You're probably getting a rest period before you hit your weights. I've always suggested, and a lot of people do it wrong, doing weights before cardio. You know, doing weights before cardio, and the reasoning behind that is you're going to expel energy while you're doing cardio. Okay, and you want to have all the strength that you can for your weights. So do your weights first, and then get an afterburn with doing cardio. You're going to burn more calories with your cardio, and you're going to be able to lift more weight and be stronger for your workout.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing now. Like in the past, I was doing the opposite, but then ever since like you and have been talking to me about different things as far as that goes, that's what I do now. I'll go in and I'll lift first, and then by the time I get to cardio, it's now my body's spent to a certain extent. Now I know I'm burning more body fat when I'm doing cardio because of the fact that now I've done so much expenditure of energy throughout my weight workout. Now when I go get on the treadmill, I'm burning even more body fat at that point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see it all the time. I watch people walk in the gym, do 30, 40 minutes of cardio, and then they come down and do weights. You don't want to do that unless, like you said, you're going to get a break, you're going to get some food, you're going to let your body recover a little bit. You don't want to jump off of 40 minutes of cardio and hit weights because your weights will suffer.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why I'm glad we're talking about this is because this is what I see almost every single day in my gyms. People walk in the door, they hop right on an elliptical, right on a treadmill, right on the stair climber. I see them do their thing there, and then they get off and go do weights. And I've tried to educate people, but old school thinking or just being in that repetitive where we get to in life where we're just doing the same thing over and over again. So people are just used to doing that, the cardio first and then weights second, where that's what we're really trying to teach you to do the weights first, cardio second.
Absolutely. Weights first, cardio second. Remember that. If you're weight loss and you want to get up and do some fasted cardio, you can get up and do some fasted cardio and then go back in the evening when you have some, nutrients throughout the day and recovery, and do your weights in the evening. You shouldn't suffer then as long as you're eating enough.
Yeah, when I hear people talk about 2-a-days, they're putting in 2 workouts in a day. It's not smart to if you're lifting 2 times a day, you're overlifting by that, overtraining by the end of the week because you've lifted twice every single day. So if you're going to do 2-a-days, yes, cardio first thing in the morning, weights in the evening. Yeah,
because you're not going to get that much muscle breakdown when you do your cardio unless you're doing HIIT. Like you can overdo weights and HIIT, but if you're doing a 2-a-day, I would strongly suggest you do a small amount of HIIT with more low intensity steady state. So inclined walk, Stairmaster. If you're on the Stairmaster, one of my pet peeves is don't hold your whole body weight up and move your legs.
What about on the treadmill when they're holding on?
Yeah, same thing. If you're holding up weight with your arms and your legs are barely moving, let go of the treadmill and just mall walk with your arms and see how much harder it is. And on the Stairmaster, just hold on for balance. Don't bear any weight. It's going to be 10 times harder. I see it all the time.
Even on the elliptical, I see people laying on the elliptical, so all you're getting at that point is a lower body workout. You're not doing anything on the upper body because your whole entire upper body, the weight is being being on that machine and not actually doing anything.
Yeah, and that's fine if you're doing intervals and you're going really hard with your arms and your legs, and then when you're in your rest period, putting your arms to the side and just kind of gliding so your heart rate comes down. That's good, but don't do your entire cardio. I hate it. I can't stand it. I see it all the time. We've been in the gym business for a long time. I started my training career at 24 Hour Fitness. And I saw the same people for 2 years come in and do the same thing and look the exact same. And that maybe those people, without talking to them, maybe they just wanted to maintain, or maybe they were just in for general health. But it looked like a lot of them were trying to lose weight. They were just doing the wrong things. Right. And that's one of the main reasons why we were doing this podcast. So you guys get the most out of your workout and you're doing it right, because all the misinformation out there saying, somebody could Google it right now and they find an article saying, no, cardio first before weights. But this is just this is from our experience, and hopefully we give you some good reasoning behind why you should do your weights first over your cardio. But there's all different types of studies saying, no, you burn more it's the misinformation out there.
Yeah, and we've done everything we've talked about. Like
absolutely.
We've done the different things to see what's worked better especially for me. I always try something to see what works better for me and my body type. And now in my lifting career, if you want to call it that, or my fitness career, I've been doing it so long now that now I've tried a little bit of everything, and now I know exactly how my body works. And that's one thing too, as a trainer, sometimes with your client, you have to figure out what type of thing works for them. So sometimes that's why we say it's a journey and it's a process, or what I said on the last podcast, a restoration process. Because right off the bat, that particular thing may not work really well for you, and maybe it's time to switch it up and we tweak that workout to where, again, like Ryan said, if you're coming and doing the same thing every time you get to the gym, honestly, you're wasting your time. You're not getting any benefit out of your workout, because your body literally is not even working itself. It's just going basically ho-hum, falling asleep on itself, because it's not seeing any results. Like our podcast in the past where we talked about form, your form and your type of workout and what you're doing in your workout is very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And workout selection, we're going to get into that a little bit. But, another thing that
I'm ready to go work out right now. I'm fired up.
I got my caffeine in. Now I'm ready to go. Another thing talk about, too, is like the spot reduction. I talked to a client the other day, and they were talking about, I was like, what's your routine? And, if you have a belly you're trying to get rid of, okay, don't sit there and just spend your entire workout doing ab work. Okay, there's no such thing as spot reduction. So if you're just doing a bunch of ab work, you're working a small muscle group. Your rectus abdominis, your obliques, the muscles aren't huge.
Big words.
So, yeah, rectus abdominis.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
So those aren't
I
big
think we're gonna have
muscles.
to charge extra.
Yeah, for that, yeah. So if you're working those, it's a smaller muscle, so you're not burning that many calories, and you're not really shrinking your gut. So you'd be better off doing more legs, where you're going to burn more calories and start to lose that gut, or spending more time in the kitchen than doing a bunch of ab work. So if you spend more time doing abs than you do in the kitchen, then you're doing it wrong.
Can somebody build that muscle in their ab to where the point now they're not shrinking it at all? They're actually making it look larger because they're just doing so much ab work.
Yeah. I mean, it's a smaller muscle, so it takes a lot to build it up. The biggest mistake I see with people doing too much ab work. Okay, so your rectus abdominis. Okay,
There we go.
Yeah,
Number
I
two.
need an
Number
applause
two.
button.
Number three.
Your rectus abdominis it controls spinal flexion. Okay, so that means if you're crunching down, if you guys flex your abs, what happens if you flex your abs? Your spine rounds. Okay, so those muscles control spinal flexion. So if you do a repetitive motion of crunching a lot over time, those muscles get tight, and it creates a muscle imbalance, and you get a rounded back.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Makes sense.
just like protracted shoulders, if you do too much frontal delt, too much chest, it pulls your shoulders forward. It's just a muscle imbalance. So same thing with like doing a bunch of leg lifts. Okay, if you're just doing a bunch of leg lifts, it's almost impossible to do leg lifts without getting your hip flexors involved. Okay, so if you're doing a bunch of leg lifts and you fill up more in your hip flexors than you do your lower abs, then you need to stop. You need to stop. You need to stretch your hip flexors, because all you're doing is giving yourself more of an anterior pelvic tilt.
And a leg lift would be where you're actually hanging and
or from the ground.
Either way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or from the ground, because you're lifting your legs up. So, your hip flexors are going to help with that motion. So if you're like, you're doing a bunch of leg lifts and your hip flexors are getting tight, switch it up. You'll be better off holding a plank or holding a hollow body hold, where you're engaging a lot more muscles than just like your lower abs or your upper abs. And if you're not feeling anything in your lower abs when you do leg lifts or whatever, then you probably have anterior pelvic tilt, and those lower abs are stretched out anyways. We talked about muscle imbalances in a previous podcast if you listen to that. So really work on strengthening your glutes, stretching the hip flexors, getting your pelvis tilted back down, and then you're going to be able to hit those lower abs. But keep your hip flexors stretched out really good.
And why we're bringing this topic up as far as like what you're doing when you go in the gym, because Ryan, what is every Monday known in the gym world?
Chesticles.
That's right. Chest day. It's International Chest Day. Everybody does chest on Mondays. And it's funny, in one of my locations that I work out at the lot, for some reason every Friday is leg day, and it just happens to unfortunately be the day that I end up having to hit it that week too. And I'm like, my goodness, everybody's doing legs. So, and it's the same people that I see doing legs every Friday.
Yep. At least they're doing legs.
Yeah,
that
is
that's
nice.
good. So let's talk about your pre-workout nutrition. Your pre-workout. So you eat your oatmeal and your protein at 3:30. On the way to the gym at 5. When you get off of work at 5, you drink your pre-workout. You're ready to go. You're hyped. You get to the gym. Okay, what do you do when you walk in the gym? Okay, you probably talk to some buddies or whatever, but when you get there, you really need to make sure you warm up. Okay, warming up, getting blood flow going, getting all your joints lubed up, getting your muscles firing. That's going to massively reduce your risk for injury. If you just walk in the gym and grab heavy weights and start rolling, then you're going to be sorry. Okay, so if you go in and do legs, do some bodyweight squats, do some bodyweight walking lunges. You want to do a dynamic warm up before you work out. Okay, you do not want to do a static stretching. So if you go into the gym and you're cold and you start like bending down and holding your stretches, static stretching, you're not going to get anything out of it because your muscles aren't loose. They're not limber, so make sure you static stretch after you work out. Before you work out, it needs to be active stretch. I tell people like the elliptical is really good. And I'm not saying this is your cardio before your weights, like doing
talking like maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
Right.
yeah. 5 minutes, because on elliptical, you're using your legs, you're using your arm, your core's twisting, so you're firing a lot of muscles, when you do the elliptical. So that's my favorite, especially before leg day, because you get your hip flexors kind of stretched out and you can get your glutes firing on the elliptical. But make sure you warm up, because you're gonna like reduce your range of motion when you work out, and you're going to increase your risk for injury if you don't warm up. So 5-10 minute warm up. We do the same warm up at Shred. Like, all my clients make fun of me because it's been the same one for 6 years, but it's pretty solid. Like, you do it from head to toe. Arm circles, forward arm circles, reverse arm circles, arms across your chest, so you're stretching out your chest, you're warming up your back. Trunk twist, like make sure you keep your core engaged like you'd be holding a plank, and twist your upper body so you get your spinal fluid moving, you get your core muscles activating, and that really loosens up your back and gets your core firing, so you don't have lower back pain. And then some body weight squats, hug your knee into your chest, some reverse lunges, stretching your hip flexors. Do a whole stretch. You're gonna get more out of your workout if you come in warmed up than you do if you're cold, for sure. 100%.
Like this wasn't something that I even thought about until I've gotten older. Younger, you literally walk in the gym,
Absolutely,
you're 20, 25 years old, you walk in, you're doing chest.
Yeah.
You pick up a set of 60-pound dumbbells, you do 10, you set them down, you go right to the hundreds.
Yeah.
Now I'm like 30, 40s, then the 50s, and then the 60s. So it's definitely, as you get older, and I didn't believe it either, but as you get older, these are things that you're going to want to really pay attention to, because now you're at a higher risk of getting injury or pulling a muscle. Yep. Than you are when you're 20 years old, when you're just basically like almost like an elastic, rubber band still at that age. So
absolutely, these
are things that, like, if you're not doing now, you need to get yourself into doing that now, so that you just build that regiment. So when you get there, when you're in the older ages, that you're already doing it, and now you're going to be so much further ahead than everybody else.
Yep. And you want to make sure, if you're doing upper body day, get your shoulders really warmed up and get your lower back, stretched out. The biggest injuries come from shoulders, lower back, and knees. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're doing shoulders, make sure you're doing some sort of motion where you got full range of motion, where your rotator cuff's getting loosened up, and do some light weights. With my clients a lot in classes, we do what's called a pre-fatigue or a pre-pump. Okay, so if you're going to do shoulders, and say you're female, you're going to do shoulders, grab some 5-pound dumbbells and do 3 sets of 20 on lat raises. Get the shoulders firing, get warmed up, and that's going to get your shoulders going. And your first set's going to be the hardest. Like, if your first working set, if you do 3 sets of 20 on some lat raises, and you go grab some dumbbells to press, they're going to seem heavy because you're pre-fatigued. Okay, but that's really, but you're going to target your muscle more than. And if you got your shoulders firing, and you don't do that, then your traps are going to get involved. Your other muscles are going to get involved if you're not pinpointing the muscle you're trying to fire in, and that's called a pre-pump or pre-fatigue. Usually, really light weights, 2 to 3 sets of 20 until you feel like you're warm. If you're not warm, keep on stretching, y'all. Don't just jump into it and try to fight through it. Keep on warming up. If you do legs, before every leg class, or with my clients, I have them do body weight squats, body weight lunges, and then we hold a squat for 60 seconds. And that gets the blood flow to the muscles. It gets everything firing, and it gets them ready to go.
The other thing I recommend too is, like, when you're lifting, hey, I love working out, sleeveless shirt or tank top, but I usually always start my workout in like a long sleeve. I always thought when I was younger, oh, that guy's just doing that because, once he gets his pump, then he takes his shirt off so everybody can see his pump.
That's why I do it.
Yeah. Well, I do it differently because of the fact that, like, with my shoulders, my shoulders are so tight a lot of times whenever I start my workout. And if I'm in a tank top from the very beginning, I can't ever really get my shoulders to loosen up very well, and I'm stretching the whole time. But if I'm getting that, wearing a hoodie or wearing a long sleeve shirt to where now I'm keeping that heat in, then it helps me a lot personally throughout my workout, because now I'm much more loose than I am if I just go straight in and be cold while I'm in there.
Yeah, and then you get pumped, and then you do like the big reveal where you take off your hoodie, and then they're like, "Oh my God, that guy's big. He's pumped up already." Yeah, that's why I do it, really. But all right, so
hey, when you love the pump, you
that's
love
right.
the pump.
That's
You're
right.
addicted to the pump. Hey,
that's right. Okay, so you're warmed up. So you eat your pre-workout nutrition, pre-workout. The pre-workout's kicking in. You're tingling. Okay, you do your warm-up, and you're ready to hit the weights. How about exercise selection? How many sets, how many reps are you doing? And remember, we're going back to talking about like a weight loss client, okay? So when you think about what exercise you should pick first, you should pick prime movers, compound movements. Okay, so on your legs, your squats, your leg press, your big movements. Those are the ones you want to do first because that's when you have the most energy. Okay, so if you came into the gym and you reversed your workout, like you did leg curls, leg extensions, walking lunges, Romanians, and then you try to squat, think about how hard squatting is going to be at the end of your workout.
Try doing calves first and then squat later.
Yeah, and then squat later. You're going to be tired, so you want to make sure after you're warmed up, and even if you're going to go from your warm-up, which is going to be pretty solid, to squats, make sure you do another warm-up set of squats, 15 to 20 reps of really light weight. And kind of listen to your body. If you feel like you're trying to squat and you can't get down deep enough because your hip flexors are tight, put the bar up, stretch your hip flexors, do another warm-up set. Don't just try to rush into it. But on your prime movers, for somebody that's a weight loss client, it's typically 3 to 4 working sets. That means after your warm-ups where you actually have weight on. With a good tempo, you should be 3 to 4 sets of anywhere between 8 and 15 reps. Okay, that's usually what we stay within. You go higher reps on smaller muscle groups, 20 reps if you want, but 8 to 15 reps is good, meaning if you can't get 8 reps in, if you can't get 8 good, slow tempo, concentrated reps in, then the weight's probably going to be too heavy for you, okay? If you do 15 reps in a good tempo, good form, and it's easy, you need to put more weight on, okay? So if you stay within that rep range, then you're good, okay? Even, if you get into smaller muscle groups, shoulders, that type of thing, 12 to 15, but your prime movers, your big muscle groups like your back rows, your squats, your deadlifts, if you do deadlifts. For weight loss clients, 8 to 12. Anything else, 12 to 15, 3 to 4 sets. Okay. And how many sets, how many different exercises you should be doing? It really just depends. If you're doing a heavy squat day and you're spending a lot of time getting your rest time, usually your rest time in between sets should be 90 seconds to 2 minutes if you're lifting heavier.
Right.
Okay. And if you're in a high intensity class, obviously it's more of a calorie burn than a muscle build. So you're going a little bit faster and you're burning more calories. But in between sets, you should be, at least 60 seconds. I mean, if you feel like you can go again, go. If you feel like you can get another set in, go get another set in, especially if you're in a weight loss mode. But 60 seconds to 2 minutes, and then do another set. Then wait 60 seconds to 2 minutes, and hit your next exercise. Okay, so really, I don't know, probably 5 to 6 exercises you should probably hit, and then later on in your workout, after you do prime movers, that's when you can start supersetting. When I say supersetting, that means picking 2 exercises and hitting them back and forth. So like if you're doing arms, do a bicep curl, go over to a tricep push down, back to bicep curl, tricep push down, or if you're doing a push pull, bench press with a back row or a lat pull down. So that's your supersetting. Or if you're at a gym by yourself or you have a lot of equipment, you can do a giant set. And what a giant set is a bunch of different exercises, kind of like we do in class. You do a bunch of different exercises in a giant set, then you get a break. So you could set up like a bench press, a lat pull down, a bicep, a tricep, a leg if you're doing a total body, and you go through all that, and then you get a set, and then you get rest. That's a giant set. Which giant sets are good because you're reducing your rest time in between sets, and then you recover, and then you hit it again and you go through them.
Yeah, I like to switch it up too. Like you said, like 6 sets. So if I'm doing shoulders, I'll do 6 different exercises for shoulders. And if I have a little bit more time that day, or if it's been a while, and I just really want to pound shoulders, I might throw in an extra set, or I'll throw in like my sixth exercise. Instead of doing 4 sets of that 6, I'll do like 7 sets and just really just get that that pump up.
Yep.
And then maybe the next go around on shoulders, if I'm pressed for time, I may only do 4, but when I'm doing the 4, I'm going to go a little bit heavier than what I did when I did the 6, and I'm just going to pound out 4 good exercises at a little heavier with 4 sets of each exercise.
Yep. I know people ask me all the time too, like how many sets, how many reps do you do up? I don't even really count my reps. My clients make fun of me, or my workout partners make fun of me because they're like, I'm like done, and they're like, you didn't do 12. I'm like, I know, but I burned out, or you know. So you just listen to your body. If you feel like you can do a little bit more than just if I was doing bench press the other day and I was feeling strong, I was feeling great, so I did like 7 or 8 sets. I don't even know how I did. I just went until I got tired of it. So if you're firing your muscle really good and you're feeling strong, just keep on going. But really, if we're just hitting everything.
We're hitting
today.
everything today, geez.
So
except for each other.
So really, if you're whatever weights you do, how many sets, how many reps, supersets, giant sets, you really don't want to be lifting more than doing weights more than 50 minutes. 45, 50 minutes, you should be done. If you're not spent by that, you're talking too much, you're getting too much recovery time.
If you start losing your pump too, if you actually know what that pump is, if you start losing your pump, you're done. I mean, you might as well just hang it up and go home. You've already done everything that your body's going to absorb or take in that day.
Well, and it's definitely it's quality over quantity.
Right.
So if you're getting shitty reps, if you're burning out and your workouts suck and you're getting bored, just leave. Don't guilt trip yourself that you didn't go 90 minutes on weights when you're just spinning your wheels and probably going to increase your risk for injury if you keep on going.
So there's also, like what we've talked about, just like kind of like your selection, either you're doing giant sets or, those types of things. What I like to do on certain days too is like if I'm doing arms all by themselves, where I'll just do the whole entire arm workout, just a superset, to where, like you said, I'll go straight from a bicep curl straight to a tricep push down and back and forth. And I'm doing high reps and I'm just blowing out like 20 reps to where I'm doing sort of lightweight and I'm not taking any break in that time. I'm just going from one exercise to the next. And it is amazing just when you do that every once in a while, how sore you get and how much you really tear down that muscle in a good way. Over just sometimes, you just feel like if you're in the gym and you're at the point where you work out and you go home 2 days later, you're not sore anymore. It's time to switch it up. Now that's a time to maybe throw in. If you're only doing supersets, now don't do supersets for a little while. Now do your exercise, wait the 90 seconds in between, and then go heavier with your weights. And really, again, when you start going heavier with weights, watch your form. If your form goes way to crap, then you need to lighten that weight up.
Absolutely. Yeah, mix it up, do different things, but just make sure that you guys are getting enough recovery time in between, like when you do body parts. So, I read somewhere like pro bodybuilders that smash legs, they'll do like 2 or 3 hour leg days, which isn't I don't think any of our audience, but it's crazy because they do one leg day every 7 to 10 days because they go so heavy, they get so much muscle breakdown. It takes that long for those muscles to recover and rebuild. Same thing with back. Like usually they do one big back day a week. For us, for weight loss clients that aren't overloading their muscle and not having a ton of muscle breakdown, 2 leg days a week, but people are doing legs every day. It's not good, especially weighted. I had a female come in yesterday and talk to me about like legs. Like I want my legs are my worst spot. You can't spot reduce, but you can burn a lot of calories doing legs. I said 2 leg days. Make sure you're focusing more on your posterior chain, so your glutes, your hamstrings one day, more quads, total body movements the other day. But in between, you can do body weight stuff. Body weight stuff isn't going to get enough muscle breakdown to where you're not going to have need that much recovery, and you're just working on firing the muscles. But if you're really sore, don't go. If your legs are really sore, you can barely like stand up from the toilet. Don't go try to do legs. You're not going to get anything out of it. You're just beating your legs down. But I do tell women, especially my female clients that want to work on their butt, do a bunch of body weight glute bridges every day. Lay on your back, work on glute activation, because the better glute activation that you get, when you go in and do your lunges and your squats and your hip thrusters, then your muscle's gonna be firing a little bit more. So you can do those daily. Like get on the ground, do 3 sets of 20 or 30 hip thrusters, and just get those glutes activating.
And also with this comes overtraining, what we're talking about. And I see a lot of overtraining going on, like what I said earlier about the 2-a-days. If you're lifting twice a day, overtraining. If you're lifting 6 days a week, 7 days a week, chances are you're probably overtraining. I get it. That addiction form happens whenever you really get into working out and you don't want to take a day off. You almost like it becomes a mental thing. Man, if I take a day off, on your day off, you almost don't feel right. You can almost feel kind of depressed or just down, or you don't have as much energy. Or you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't eat anything that day bad because I didn't work out. That starts happening in our head, but that's wrong. I mean, even a bodybuilder, you talked about bodybuilders a little bit ago. Bodybuilders only lift or work out 5 days a week. Most of them take 2 to 3 days off where they do nothing. They might get out and do a little bit of walking outside, but they're not doing any type of hard, stressful workout. I see a lot of overtraining. I see people, it's awesome. I love seeing people every single day, but there are people, if I see you twice a day, every day for 7 days in a row, and sometimes
2 hours a day,
never taking a day off. We literally have members that come in over 60 times a month. That's too much. I mean, you're really not getting the benefit. Maybe it's more of a mental benefit at that point, but it's not actually doing much for your body at that point.
And that goes back to the quality over quantity.
Right.
I mean, there's life outside the gym, which we're going to try to honestly, I might get 4 to 5 45-minute workouts in a day. Like, and that's all a week. Oh yeah, a week. I'm sorry, a day. That would be overtraining for sure. Example 1 of overtraining. No, a week. I'm sorry. So no more than 45, 50 minutes when I work out. And then if I want to lean down, then I'll add in 20 minutes of incline walk or whatever after my workout. So that leads us to another thing. What's the total duration that you should be in the gym? unless you're BSing with your friends too much, you shouldn't be in the gym longer
Jaw
than 90.
day?
Yeah, unless it's jaw day. Yeah, I like that. Then you shouldn't be in the gym for longer than 90 minutes. Come in, do 45, 50 minutes of weights, 20 to 30 minutes of cardio afterwards, then you're out. If you're in there longer than that, unless you're doing a 2 a day, which still don't go over 90 minutes in one day of working out, unless you're an endurance athlete, and we're not talking to endurance athletes here. We're talking to weight loss clients. So quality over quantity when you go in the gym. So let's talk a little bit about post-workout nutrition. Okay, we talked about this before, but we have to repeat it, so you guys remember. Carbs after you work out. You want to make sure that's the best time, even if you're carb sensitive, even if you're endomorph. Carbs post-workout is the best time to get them in. That's when your body's going to use them the most. So fast carbs after you work out. Your anabolic window, and like I said, I just read an article the other day saying there's no such thing as anabolic window, which is BS. It's just all these different sources.
Explain what that is.
Anabolic window. That's where your body's most primed to take in nutrients like protein, carbs,
Like 30
amino
to
acids.
60 minutes after your workout.
That's not all day, every day.
Yeah, yeah, not every day. Yeah. I wish your anabolic window was all day. But I've read all different types of sources. I'm big believers getting it in as soon as you can. If you're getting carbs in, so say you have a Gatorade, some Carbolin, some protein, right when you get off the treadmill and you do your cardio after your weights, then get them in as fast as you can, especially the fast carbs because your body's going to be primed. But yeah, they say up to like 30, 40 minutes.
But again, that brings us back to what we talked about before, being prepared.
Yep.
Preparation. You can't show up at the gym not prepared, and then when you, like you just said, as soon as you get off doing your cardio, you want to intake that right then. If you don't have it with you and you got a 20-minute drive home, so that's where we go back to again. We've talked a lot about being prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. Like everybody at my gym makes fun of me because before I work out, pre-workout pills, I take 20 pills pre-workout.
Wow, nice.
Creatine, pump pills, DNA, BCAAs, 20 pills, and then I have 3 different shakers. Okay, so I have my big shaker with a lot of water and BCAAs. Then I have my intro workout shake, which is protein and carbs that I drink when I first start out my workout. And then I have my pre-workout shaker. So I roll in the gym with 3 shakers when I'm going to work out.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I use another shaker for my post-workout carbs, and I throw a Gatorade in there.
Yeah.
And I adjust it based on what I'm working out that day. That's funny.
You just blew my mind, man.
Shakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
It's a lot.
Hey, we
It's
have a
lot.
ton of shakers in our house.
Yeah.
My wife's like, we don't need any more shakers because I just got a really cool one the other day. I'm like, yeah, we do because every day when I leave, I've got 4 or 5 with me every single day with different things in them.
Absolutely. And make sure you wash them out, especially in the summer
Yeah.
and they sit in your car. They get funky. Just throw them away because you're not going to get the smell out of them. Made that mistake.
Even though they say that they're non-smell absorbent or whatever.
they smell like shit if you keep them. If you keep a little bit of protein shake at the bottom and it's in the heat in the summer, it's a bad deal.
Think about your post-workout nutrition too, man. That's a treat. That's something that sometimes even pushes me through my workout. I can't wait. And that's also sometimes whenever I start feeling really, really hungry, now I might throw in some supersets to get done with my workout because my body at that point in time, that's when now you can explain it more. But like when you're starting to feel like really hungry and your stomach's starting to growl, that's not good either. So you need to get some food in right away.
Yeah, the worst thing you guys can do which I know a lot of you doing it. Like just look at yourself right now if you do this. You don't have any pre-workout nutrition. So you maybe eat a salad at lunch where you're not getting any carbs, and you sprinkle some chicken on there because you feel guilty if you put anything else on your lettuce. Okay, you eat like a couple egg whites for breakfast, and then you go to the gym on an empty stomach and work out for 2 hours and overtrain. Then you don't eat anything post-workout, and you go have a small dinner. You're not getting anywhere. You are spinning your wheels. The 2 hours you're spending in the gym, you're just burning up your muscle, and you probably feel soft. You probably feel like, oh my God, I spent all this time in the gym, but I'm not getting anywhere. No shit, you're not getting anywhere because you're not doing it right. Okay.
And I think that's a fear that a lot of people have. They think
absolutely.
that that's the way they should eat because they're fearful to eat anything.
Yeah.
They're fearful to, oh my gosh, if I eat that, I'm going to gain weight. My wife's a perfect example. My wife's a very fit, very trim, and she eats a lot. She eats constantly throughout the day.
Yep.
And people around her are like, I can't believe you're eating again. And it's like, yeah, that's what she needs to do. Again, we can talk about even just like raising in your metabolism, how well is your metabolism working if you're only eating 1 meal a day?
Yeah, it's a calorie balance. And if you're in too big of a deficit, you are spinning your wheels. You're wasting your time. I'm just telling you guys right now. The biggest mistake, I've repeated this before, the biggest mistake you can do is start a weight loss program and you clean up your diet, which is great. You're making healthier choices, but if you're not seeing any results, what people do all the time is they start to reduce calories and up exercise, reduce calories and up exercise, and you're just getting a bigger calorie deficit. And then what happens? Your body gets smart, your metabolism shuts down, it holds onto muscle. It holds onto fat, it burns up muscle for hard times. Okay, that's what happens to so many of you, and you're like, I don't know, I don't have any energy throughout the day. I don't know why, my body's not changing. That's why you have to eat. I know it sounds ass backwards when we say work out less and eat more to lose weight. People are like, no, your heads explode. But like that's really what you got to get to.
Right.
Ideally, like honestly, if you're 120 to 160 pound female. Okay, and you're eating right, you're eating the right way, you're working out the right way, you're not overtraining, you should be able to eat 15 to 2,000 calories a day and still maintain or lose weight. Okay, if your metabolism's going and you're building muscle mass, and like if you laid out 1,800 calories worth of food in front of like any female that's trying to diet, they'd be like, no, I'm gonna get fat. You're not. Like you have to feel your body. That's like you running around on an empty gas tank in your car all the time with your oil that needed to be changed, months ago. Like that's what you're doing to yourself if you're riding your car really hard and you're not taking care of it, basically.
So now post-workout supplements. Like again, we're talking a lot about supplements. So obviously we believe in a lot of supplements. We believe they work. They do work. They're out there for a reason. Again, do your research, do your homework, ask people, ask the who you would think is your professional in your area on what supplements you should take. But as far as post-workout supplements, what do you recommend on a post-workout supplement? Obviously, we're going to do BCAAs again.
Yeah, BCAAs, and most proteins will have BCAAs in it. They all have that's the amino chain. Branched chain amino acids. They're going to have them in your protein, but you can add additional BCAAs to it. But definitely females, at least 20 grams of a whey isolate. You want to make sure you get an isolate, not a concentrate. That's why, people that buy, like the Muscle Milk and some of the other lower quality proteins, they're concentrate. Like you don't want to concentrate after you work out. You want to isolate so it goes straight to your muscles. So 20 to 30 grams for women, depending on what muscle part you worked and how much, like if it's leg day, go a little bit higher. Guys, 30 to 40 grams post-workout. And then add in the carbs, like powdered carbs or bad carbs. I know a competition coach who has some badass athletes that are just completely jacked. And post-workout, even like leading up to the show, he lets them have a king-size Snicker after the workout. Like they smack because it's the sugars.
Hey, we do sell Snickers at one of my gym locations for that reason.
Yeah. So my only argument about that is eating the Snickers. It's refined sugars, which it's still going to give you the same effect, not as clean. And it's got high fructose corn syrup. It's just got a bunch of bad stuff in it, opposed to like a powdered carb form or a dextrose or something that's going to go straight to your muscles. And also, you want to try to avoid fats pre-workout or post-workout,
which is something that I've heard a lot of people say wrong.
Yeah.
I've heard guys say they smash peanut butter and stuff like that after
wrong.
workout. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you need to at least wait an hour, correct?
Yeah, peanut butter post-workout's not going to do anything for you. It's carbs. The name of the game is pre-workout, carbs and fats. Carbs and protein post-workout. Leave your fats throughout the day later on. Yep. So 90 minutes in the gym, get off the treadmill, get your carbs, get your protein, and just adjust it daily. Calorie cycling and carb cycling is really good for you, and adjusting your calories based on your activity level. So if you are getting a ton of like carbs intra workout, post workout, and protein on days you do strength training 4 or 5 days a week, on your other days, or if you do arms or you just do cardio and lightweight session, pull those calories, pull those carbs, pull those proteins, and it's going to calorie cycle you, and it's going to work really good for your weight loss. Because if you did that post workout on a cardio only day, then you're just boosting you're boosting your caloric intake and boosting your caloric deficit when you get off the treadmill if you're doing more cardio. So you're kind of spinning your wheels. So feed your muscles when you break them down, and then don't feed them when you're not getting any muscle breakdown. Basically, is how you have to look at it.
Yeah, when we're talking about like the post-workout nutrition and being prepared, I know all my locations in Ryan, we have refrigerators, we have microwaves. That is open to the public. One of my locations, I just literally put the microwave out on the floor, because if you're doing it right and you're coming prepared and you need to use the microwave, if you're at a gym that has a microwave, and a refrigerator, use it. We have areas where people can sit and actually hang out too. So sit down, eat, and then you take off and go home. So.
Yeah, so if you do your post-workout nutrition right after you get off the treadmill, you probably want to wait like an hour for your next meal. So if you work out in the morning, you get done at the gym at 6 or 6:30, have your shake, have your carbs, and then wait for like an hour to have your breakfast and then get on the rest of your meals. But if you're pounding carbs before your workout and after your workout, then the rest of your days can be a lower carb diet. You can just have really, proteins and fats, more of a really low carb, ketogenic style like diet the rest of the day, but you're still getting your carbs in when your body's going to use them the most. So that's really good for people that are carb sensitive.
Yeah, and you will get a little bit of carbs if you're doing veggies.
Oh,
a
absolutely,
lot of people forget that, like, broccoli and stuff has some carbs in it, but a very small dose of carb. Very small.
Avocado, nuts, they all have carbs in them. So, if you get, 60 grams of carbs pre and post workout, and then you're, eating some miscellaneous carbs, you're eating a couple servings of nuts, an avocado, some veggies, another serving of fruit, you're going to be getting easily over 100 grams of carbs, which is still, for anyone, 100 grams of carbs is still considered a low carb diet.
When we've been talking about this, I've thought of another idea for one of our podcasts. We're talking about reps, supersetting. We're talking about all those types of things. I think we need to do one on gym etiquette.
Absolutely. I have this right here. Actually, I have it right here, but I butchered how to spell etiquette. I couldn't figure out how to spell it.
Hey, look. I didn't spell it all the way out on mine. I just wrote Gym Ed on mine.
Yeah.
So
I was going to put my pen over there so you didn't look at it and think I was stupid.
Look where my pen's at.
It's a tough word. Yeah, gym etiquette's a
Don't
big
judge
thing.
us.
Yeah, gym etiquette's a huge thing. So many people do it wrong, and and most of the time, it's a little bit older generation that just don't know. Like, just go and sit on a machine. Like, don't just go sit on a machine and wait there forever because somebody is going to want to use it and get moving, burn some more calories.
Like, especially like when you're talking those giant sets, you brought up the key thing. If you're there by yourself or there's not that many people there, you can't do that on a Monday night at 6 o'clock when the gym is packed.
Yeah, don't take up 6 machines and all these.
I'm
weights.
on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on that.
Yeah.
Which one do you want? I'm on all of those.
Yeah, adjust your workout style based on the flow of the gym too. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Or girl. Yeah. So I think that's all we got today. Make sure you're eating right before you work out. Get some caffeine before you work out. Don't overtrain. No more than 90 minutes in the gym 4 to 5 times a week. Let your body recover. Feel your body right. We had our podcast about form and tempo, but we could have a whole nother podcast, I think, on that. We got a lot of good feedback about that, about people listening to it and actually, going through flexing their muscles. After the Shred Education, a lot of people were working out differently in the gyms, I think. So you guys are taking what we're teaching you and using it, that's our mission, and we love that. So we got the Facebook page. Aaron started the podcast Facebook page. So give us your feedback on that. We'd love to answer any questions you have, and here pretty soon we're going to do a full live Q&A. We'll let you guys know when we do that, but we'll be Facebook Live. You ask us whatever questions you have. If we don't know the answer, we won't bullshit through. We'll just tell you, let's research that a little bit and get back to you. But
that'll be a podcast for later.
Yeah, right.
If we don't know the answer. But yeah, thanks so much for listening to us, guys. We appreciate it. Keep telling your friends about us, share us, like us. If you haven't done a review on one of your favorite podcasts right now, how you listen to us, do a review for us so that we can get the word out there more to people, because we love that we're able to do this for you guys. We love and obviously the passion we've talked about before, and what we talk about is something that we fully believe in, and definitely the reason why we're doing it. It's not for ourselves. We want to make sure that we can help change your life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Tons of misinformation out there. Just even this week, I heard people come in and talk to me about stuff that they've been doing that doesn't work. So, then I just refer them to our podcast.
There you go.
If you have a question on that, listen to episode 8 or 9 or whatever it is. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. You guys take care. Have a good week.
Too fresh, too clean. In your mouth like Listerine. Swish swash, swish swash.